Join Master of Menace Mark Maloney and the OG guy being Dude Aidan Maloney as they explore movies, music, food, and nightlife on The Mark Mo Show. With segments like You Just Made the List, Carpe Diem, and The 15, each episode is loaded with shenanigans, tomfoolery, and chaos. We hope you enjoy the show.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of our first season of the Mark Mo Show podcast. My name is Mark Maloney. I'm your host. Hi. Nice to meet you. And alongside me is my son, Aidan Maloney. I should say AK219's Aidan Maloney, the guy being the dude. How are you, man?
I'm doing wonderfully. It's been fantastic. Fantastic week, being that it's finally over.
Absolutely. I could not agree more with that statement.
For sure. Yeah, it's a sentiment that I feel like most people can get on board with, except for the sorry souls that unfortunately have to work on weekends, which I used to be. And I feel bad for those people.
I do too.
It's such a bad feeling of waking up on Saturday like, I can't believe I have to fucking clock in.
Oh, I know. And the funny thing was, back when I worked this part-time job, a dear old friend got for me. Anyway, I worked this job and it required weekends, but I was able to get Saturday off because the Mark Mo Show used to be a radio show.
True.
That we did on Saturdays, but I had to work Sundays during football season. That was
a tough one, man.
That was a tough one for me. So I often had just like ESPN Gamecast on my phone by the register. And it wasn't that Sunday was overly busy, but the second you opened the door, there was a line of people outside because you opened at noon.
Right.
On Sunday.
That's Indiana state laws. It's only 12 to noon on the Lord's Day.
Yep. Sunday, 12 to 8. You can open at 12. You got to close by 8. Crazy rules, whatever.
Yeah.
You used to not be able to sell alcohol at all on a Sunday.
Right.
Which was really...
Unless it was a bar. Bars somehow got a pass.
Bars get a pass, but if you want to bring a sixer home on a Sunday, you're out of luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was always a thing too. Back in the day when we owned the big old house on Fremont, and like if any of my buddies were coming over for the game or we were having people over, it was like, oh my god, I got to get beer on Saturday because like if you wait, you're out of luck.
Yep.
And then you're like, did you leave Illinois yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Bring a case of beer, please. So that's always crazy rules in the state of Indiana, for sure.
What a blessing it is to be here.
Yeah, but blessing indeed.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, like and subscribe if if you're digging this, if you're listening to the Mark Mo Show, and you followed us over from radio or wherever you followed us from. We opened the door and we brought you in out of the cold. You're welcome.
We did that just for you.
We really did.
And if you're following us along, maybe out on the streets, I would say please stop.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't want to be stalked.
For the 4th time.
Yes, I've been stalked.
3 previous times.
3 previous times, and
lucky number 4.
Lucky number 4. Who's next?
The special guest.
Who's next on the Stock Mark Mo game? Da 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 da. Yeah, no, we don't want.
Brand new segment.
Brand new segment.
In my house.
Yeah, there was a movie back in the 80s, and the actor's name was Eric Bogosian, and I can't remember the woman's name, but he was a radio host, and he was stalked. And I'm not going to tell you what the ending was, because the movie's actually pretty good. I'll have to IMDb that later, but the movie's actually pretty good, but it's all about like him being stalked. Actually, there's a Clint Eastwood movie called Play Misty for Me. He's a radio show host, and he's stalked.
Criminal Minds did a play off of that movie.
Oh, did they really?
On a criminal case. Based on that, where the radio host was being stalked and you don't know like who it is and they have to suss it out. Yeah. Crazy stuff. It is. It's super crazy.
But anyway, I just want to say that, we're going to be producing new content weekly. We're on all podcasting platforms, on YouTube. We'll also have some one-off interviews coming your way. As a matter of fact, I have YMCA here in Valparaiso, Indiana, locked in. We're going to be producing some content real soon. and that should be pretty interesting. It should be some interesting stuff. We're going to interview a lot of different types of people, and it should be fun. It's going to be like part informational and part fun, and that's the way it's got to be.
Sure.
That's the way it's got to be,
Very true.
But the one-off interviews will be good, and if you like the Mark Mo Show, check out my radio show, After Hours. You can find it on WVLP.org. That's where the stream's at, or the TuneIn app on your handheld device. You can find it there. You can also find the Mark Mo Show there. I'm guessing 2 hours of uninterrupted Celtic punk and alt-rock every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time and Friday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you know what? You should also check out the Guys Being Dudes, AK219 podcast with Aiden Maloney, and most times,
Frequently.
Rarely, frequently. Okay, we'll give him
Recently.
that. We'll give him that. Apparently, we got him out of Stoner Stanley's
Purgatory,
trunk.
right? That too.
Kevin Boland. And now, from what I hear, because I haven't had the chance to listen to it yet, I'll be driving out to Crown Point later, so maybe I'll throw it on the old radio. Your latest episode,
yes,
I believe, is a rip and a roar.
A rip and a roar, a romp and a rave, a goof and a gaff, a guffaw.
A guffaw.
Well, just one. We've got to limit it, right?
Yeah, well,
because,
you do.
We don't want people to laugh themselves into hysteria and potentially die, because people have perished from hysteria before. So we limit it to one guffaw, one hijink. Any more than that, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Any more than that would just be, putting it on too heavy.
Would be irresponsible.
Yeah, there's with great power.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they say.
It's what they say. Glad my name's not Ben. Before we jump into our segments for the week, let's talk about that chilly elephant in the room. Holy hell. Was it flipping cold this week? As we said, this was a week from hell.
Right.
The hell that froze over, to be fair. And it's like that almost everywhere in the U.S. I think the Southwest might be warm-ish. We know Southern California is because they're on fire.
That's true. That's very true.
That would make sense that they'd be a little warm.
Yeah. I heard Louisiana got like 10 inches of snow.
Yep. There were snowball fights in the French Quarter.
Good. That's fun.
I would literally take the day off for that. I'm like, I am going to the French Quarter. I'm going to drink hurricanes and throw snowballs at people. That sounds like a good time.
How can it not be?
Oh, I know, right? But I mean, okay, so they got snow. I'm sure that's horrific for them because they never get snow.
Right. Their highway department is not apt to deal with such a thing.
Right. They get like an inch of snow, and it's like snowmageddon for
Bedlam,
them.
yeah.
It's bedlam, exactly. But for us, it was cold. It was cold. It was like below zero.
Yeah, the wind chills got to -15, -20 on some mornings. And that was rough to work in. It was rough to drive in, too.
And you work outside a lot.
I do. And it's... I mentioned this on AK219 as well, of how doing physical labor out in the cold is so taxing. Not in the moment. Like, in the moment, I'm mad because I'm cold, and that sucks.
Yes.
But the second I clock out, my body's like, oh, we're done with that? How about you feel ridiculously sleepy and fatigued? And it's like, well... I guess when your body is spending energy doing physical labor and heating yourself, that's just going to happen.
I can't imagine the amount of energy that your body expends at that point. I mean, really.
I was doubling up on the caffeine. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to need it.
Oh, for sure. Oh, there's no doubt. And man, that was something. I have an older farmhouse that I live in. And it was repurposed, so it's like a duplex, right? So it's like there's one unit below and one unit up top. And in the spring and fall, perfect. No issues, whatever. In the summer, it's really tough to cool. And in the winter, it's super tough to heat.
Right.
And it usually does a pretty good job as long as you're at about 32 degrees or above.
Sure.
When you start getting cold... that little heater's like the engine that couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Can't keep up. It's sitting there. I literally had it set at 88 degrees to warm up my apartment to 59.
Yowza.
It just wouldn't do it.
Right.
It just wouldn't do it. I replaced batteries in the unit. I took the thing off the wall. I put the thing back in the wall. Flipping on and off the heater. I'm like, warm me.
Yeah.
And it just, like, when you have an older farmhouse and the windows suck and the insulation's bad... and you have a landlord who that doesn't care
much. Clearly.
You know, but I'm not paying a lot in rent, so it's kind of one of those things where he realizes that I'm not providing you with any services whatsoever, and I say, fine, as long as your rent is cheap. The second that rent goes up,
bye.
See, I'm not, that's just, it's bad. But it's especially bad when you have 0 degree days.
Right.
It's pretty horrific.
Yeah, that's brutal, man.
Yeah, so we seem to be out of it. Upper 20s, low 30s this weekend, so like normal winter.
Right, regular people winter.
And then I guess near 40 a couple times next week. So
good.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that. I work in addition to podcasting, being on the radio, writing articles in the Entertainer magazine, and many other things. I work as an administrative manager at a cemetery, which is some very interesting work. What I found to be super interesting is when it's 0 and you have to bury people, there is about 16 to 20 inches of frost.
Oh, right.
That you have to get through.
Yeah.
And that backhoe, I don't care how great of a backhoe you have, it's like shaving chocolate.
Jesus.
It's like
yeah.
Until you can get way down there. So we literally throw hot coals onto the area that we have to dig up.
Yeah.
Because you have to warm it up, but it only
the frost line.
It only goes down so far. So
True.
If you do it, you might get 6 to 8 inches down, but then you got it. I mean, it's a process.
Yowza.
It is a process, but so I'm over winter.
Yeah, I feel you there.
I am pretty much over it, but I don't know what it's like where you are. I know it's a shitstorm all over the country, right? So you got fires in Southern California, and in Florida's Florida. I love you guys, but you know what you guys deal with. You know what you guys deal with on the daily. The list is long.
Yeah.
But everybody else is frost and snow and so much other crazy stuff. So hopefully the weather will break.
True.
And if you're supposed to be warm, I hope you guys get warm soon.
If you're out of the country, hit us up on the socials.
No doubt, because we are...
Yeah, how's the weather by you?
Worldwide.
Yeah.
We are
Mr.
worldwide. I have a following in Ukraine. I'm going to start learning the language so I can start saying some nice things about these wonderful people. It's a long story. All I'm going to say is I fell in like with this Ukrainian doom metal band. I played them on my show. They were so incredibly grateful. I just think largely Ukrainian people are just amazing human beings. Like, if I could afford to go there, I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would totally go there. And then they just start following me on Twitter. Twitter seems to be their thing of all socials. And they just, oh, you are so wonderful. Thank you for sharing our people. Well, you are welcome.
You got it, Buster.
You got it. Yeah, go Ukraine. I see your thing. Well, you have the Ukrainian flag, and they're just so grateful. They're saying, I mean, it's a terrible impression by me, by the way. I just made them sound like they're all stupid. They're definitely not stupid. They're wonderful people. I just lost all my Ukrainians.
Oh.
I think I lost them all.
Nah, they can take a joke.
They can take a joke. They can definitely take a joke. But at any rate, whether it's hot or it's cold or wherever you are in the world, we're here for each and every one of you.
You're welcome.
And you are welcome for that. And before we get started, I'd like to thank some supporters that I have. And that is the Curry Motors Ford of Valpo, Curry Motors Buick GMC, Jetonia Greek Grill. I need some of that soon. Their soup is amazing, by the way.
So
that
true.
Greek lemon rice soup.
Yeah. Get real.
My mouth is watering. That's ridiculous. Smoketown Blues Barbecue, Valpo YMCA, Life Care Centers of Valpo, the Entertainer Magazine. Eric Sanchez is our G. And, hey, Guys Being Dudes, AK219, for their support, your guidance in my process of leaving radio and coming over to podcasting, and your production skills and all of that. It's amazing, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. And we're going to take a super quick break, and when we get back, we are going to get into some Carpe Diem here on the Mark Mo Show. right. Carpe Diem time. That is exactly what time it is. Carpe Diem is our segment where you wonderful people send us DMs each and every week, and we read them on the Mark Mo Show podcast. And it'll be very interesting to see what we have this week. And Aiden, you want to start us off?
Definitely. I got some interesting ones this week in the mail.
Awesome.
Lannable Hector asks, if I offered you $2 million for a limb, which, would you take it and for which limb? I'm not going to ask what Lannable Hector has planned for my limb. I just hope it's tasty.
I hope he has it with a nice Chianti and some fava beans.
Exactly.
That would be nice.
Deserved. $2 million. I'm imagining $2 million is plenty for like a quality prosthetic limb, right?
Sure.
You could just get one of those and then have like a fair bit left over, right?
Sure. I would think so.
So I'm tempted to take it, but I don't know which limb. Like, my left arm is kind of useless at, like, fine motor skills, but I still use it for a bunch of stuff, especially with
all day long.
Work, housework. So maybe I'll go, like, left leg? Could do left leg as long as, like prosthetic legs are pretty good, right? Maybe I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research into prosthetic limbs.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not a expert in prosthetics, but
Yeah.
I will say that I'm keeping my arms and my legs. If he wants a pinky finger off my left hand, I'll give him that. If he wants my earlobes, maybe.
I mean,
a toe or two. That's all I'm willing to do.
If this Lannable guy is looking for, say, a cut of human that's edible, I don't know if a pinky or an earlobe would cut it.
It probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't.
$2 million. Would I really give up a limb for $2 million?
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Because it
Yeah.
degrades your quality of life. So what good is the $2 million if, say, oh man, $2 million, I'll never have to work again, I'll be able to budget that out, I'm going to go rock climb. Well. No. Oh man, I'm going to visit my sister Alex, we're going to go hiking. No, we're not going to do that either. I do really love to bowl, but it's, balance. Well, no, probably not.
Yeah.
I'd have to use one of those little things where you push it down the little thing.
Right.
No, there's...
Okay. You've convinced me.
Have I? Okay.
I guess a prosthetic leg doesn't necessarily have the nerve endings for dexterity, per se.
No, and hey, credits people that are, in the Special Olympics and everything else, all the Olympic Games where they're missing limbs or they're in wheelchairs, and that, it's just awesome.
Right. Props to you.
But I'm sure it's not easy.
Oh, God.
I'm sure it's a lot of work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll pass. That's true.
Yeah.
Carpe Diem here from Gumbo Phallus. What are your favorite chips? Favorite chips, that's kind of broad, right? Because if you're overseas, then chips could mean fries. And fries would be some of my favorite chips.
Oh, sure.
But that's not what they are here. Chips are chips, logically speaking. I would say Sun Chips. Super underrated, underappreciated. They are
And they're not as bad for you
awesome.
as other chips.
Yeah.
But they're very tasty.
It's like corn/wheat chips, and they're fantastic. Sun Chips, highly underrated. I would probably put those damn near the top of my favorites list. And then Doritos. I mean, I just like Doritos a lot. As far as corn chips go, they're up there. I would say that's got to be two of my favorites.
That's good. Yeah, Ruffles are my thing. They've always have been. And hey, I'll eat J's, I'll eat Lay's. I'll eat almost any chip. Especially if there's a sale, then I'll grab one of the other ones. But normally, if it's I'm out at the store and there's no super sales, it's Ruffles every time. It just hits different. Ruffles with a peanut butter sandwich. I don't know what it is, but the flavor combo.
The salt, yeah.
It's
the salt and the crunch.
Yeah, It's really good. So I'm a huge Ruffles fan. I have kind of a recent entry. I discovered it working at the liquor store. Kennan Liquors, not sponsored, in St. John, Indiana. And they most liquor stores, they have like a small
A little snack section.
snack section, shelf, whatever.
Yeah.
And they usually have a few things in there. And they always had this, it's like a mix-up. So it has cheddar sun chips, Cheetos, Doritos, pretzels, and something else. And they're all in this mix.
Oh.
And they're really, really good.
Interesting.
So it's like a Chex mix, but it's all just like it's a cheesy mix.
Interesting. So they essentially take the favorites and they just mix them.
They're all in the same bag.
And instead of clashing, they're complementary.
They are all complimentary.
That's fantastic.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Not sponsored, but we will take your money.
100%.
Like yesterday.
100%. I mean, we just, we do it all, We'll take your money. We'll store your mom's.
True.
We'll hold on to your credit cards and your social security numbers. I mean,
the physical card itself, we'll take care of that.
We'll hold it for your protection.
If you have the deed to your house, hand it over.
Yeah,
We got you covered.
We've got you covered.
You're welcome in advance.
No doubt. I mean, that's how much we love you here.
You're welcome.
Indeed.
Got another DM here from Lumpy Nodes. They ask, would you rather make $100,000 a year working for an evil corporation or make $50,000 a year working for a wonderful charity? That's tough. That's tough. Because when money and morals mix, there's a lot of lifting your brain has to do to weigh it.
Yeah.
Because 6 figures would be really nice, especially in, the dog shit we're in. But I just like if I could get by, if I could make it work, working somewhere that I enjoy with, basic moral values, I'll take that every time,
Sure. I would agree with that. It's I guess it's degrees of evilness, as it were. And you could always use your free time to do good.
Sure.
And I'm a bit jaded because I've done good for organizations and people, and sometimes that doesn't go well. Sometimes you get treated like garbage by a company or not-for-profit or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
That quote-unquote means well. And just because somebody's got charity or they mean well doesn't mean that they're not a-holes, or it doesn't mean that they're not 100% on the up and up. Sometimes they have agenda. I mean, nothing's ever perfect. So it's kind of like, look, if they're evil but not like super evil, I mean, like, oh, I'm working for a company and they kill 8-year-olds and grind up their bones for bowls. That would be I would probably be like, no.
I may take issue with some of that.
I may take issues with some of that, but if they're just morally, environmentally slightly questionable, and I can get my money right, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. I've been on the poorer side for a while, and I've done my share of good in this world and community. I'm taking the damn money.
Take the moolah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
The final DM I received from Chardonnay Mike. What do you hate most about showering?
The thing I hate most about showering is pruning up. Because if I could stay under the hot water for a day and a half, I would do that.
Yeah.
Just like put a can of beer in there and just
Shower
I'm not
beers.
going anywhere. You can pee in the shower, you know? Do whatever you got to do.
Shower beers are great.
Shower beers are great.
That has become a liking of mine for sure.
Yep.
Over the last several months is the
shower
enjoyment of a shower beer.
No doubt.
What do I hate about showering? I hate when the tub is slippery.
Oh, yeah.
Because then, more people die slipping in bathtubs every year than people die by sharks.
Wow.
Period. Yeah.
Okay.
I fear that. And my bathtub is super slippery. And I don't want to hear any shit about, ooh, it's good because you got a dirty bathtub. No, that shit is polished fucking steel, dude.
Right.
You get a little soap on that, you are going to eat shit.
For sure.
I can't stand that. And then I also hate when you step in right before it gets fully warm, and then like it just slaps you with that cold water. It's like, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, getting out of the shower and the bathroom itself is cold. That's also
It's the
unpleasant.
worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
But then again, I do advocate for showers.
Oh, yeah.
As a whole, I think people should really take that as a good thing.
I mean, sometimes you just feel gross and it's like, I'm going to take a shower. But sometimes you're like just, especially in the summer, if you're like hot and you're sore and it's like, I'm going to have a cool shower.
That's true.
With a nice chilly beer and just sit in there for a second and just...
That is pleasant.
It is pleasant, man.
You know, that's another thing. Now that you bring that up, it makes me think of taking those types of showers in like that balmy ass, humid summer. Getting out of the shower, drying off, and immediately starting to sweat again.
Oh my God.
I hate it.
I
hate that.
Yeah.
It's like, what did I even do that for?
What'd I do? I just dried off and now I'm sweaty.
Right.
Now I have to take another shower. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, hate that.
And so those are your DMs for
Yes.
this week. Excellent. Very good. I have one from @PhillyFanatic. Oh, he's back. @PhillyFanatic1950. Mark Mosho, love what you guys are doing. I know you must be so disappointed that the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
How'd that go for you the other time, buddy?
Uh-huh. Tell Kevin Pittsburgh is going to be titleless for the next 100 years.
100.
He might not be wrong. To be fair.
That's true. I don't know if he's talking about across all sports.
Because still, it might be true.
That still stands for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, the Pirates will never win anything.
Nope.
The Penguins aren't going anywhere.
No.
Yeah,
you might be right.
The Steelers are in a rough spot.
They're wildly mediocre.
Yeah. Even for still being over 500, they're still somehow mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Not that I will ever advocate for Philadelphia or their sports fans, especially their sports fans. I can't. No lies detected.
No lies detected on that one.
I mean,
but with the exception of them winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know about that, buddy.
I saw this meme or this little diagram, whatever. It was on the internet, and it was like those for like rooting for Philly and those were rooting for Washington in the FC Championship game. And there's this little green dot.
Yeah.
in where Philadelphia was on the map, and everything else was red.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that checks out. That definitely
you know what
checks
I
out.
want? I want a Washington Commanders Buffalo Bills.
100%. Like that Super Bowl makes me happy.
Exactly.
Because I don't care who wins, but I don't hate either team.
Right.
So it works.
Yeah. I would have preferred to see the Lions, but well.
They I didn't know Lions could choke, but
yeah. Whoops.
Whoops, there they go.
Welcome to the NFC North.
Yeah, exactly. Best division in football. Hey, where'd they go? All right, @CreepyCompany3106.
Oh no, we were just talking about these people.
Yeah, I started dating this girl who has a dozen tattoos. I don't have any, and I don't think I'll ever get any. What is this fascination with tattoos? He's dating the girl. He must have been fascinated, right? Or did he not care about them?
Wait, so why? Okay, first of all, Mr. Creepy Company Boy, if you're dating someone with all those tattoos and you're wondering about them, you should feel comfortable enough to ask your partner about the fascination of tattoos.
What's the fascination with your tattoos?
Yeah. Either that or just go out and get one.
Just get one.
Yeah.
Because once you do, you'll have 5. Right.
Yeah, you're not going to want to stop. It's like a whole thing.
It is a thing. It's a culture.
It is. Well, that's like the half of it, right? And then the other half is like the self-pride of like, ooh, look at me. Look at what I got.
Oh, yeah. Well, I heard this radio show. And this radio show it's 2 really old guys. And they're on this radio show. And one day they were talking about like tattoos. They didn't get off it like all show.
Oh, wow.
Of just like tattoos of the devil and they're bad and they're evil and blah, blah, blah. And like all this crazy stuff. And it's like, oh, back in the day, the only people who used to have tattoos were like if you were in the Navy and you might have like a little anchor or a mom or something. It's like, what? And then they're just trying to say that the popularity in tattoos is increased because of influencers. And then they got on bashing influencers. And I just like the whole thing.
Jesus
It was like
Christ.
a car accident. I couldn't stop listening.
Wow.
And I was like, this is crazy. I'm like tattoos and influence. I'm like, I grew up in the 80s, dude. Tattoos
Right.
were the thing. It's like if you saw a rock star, you were like, ooh, that is cool. So it's
Right.
been around forever. I'm like, man, did you sleep for 3 decades? It's like, holy
What
hell.
is blood yapping about?
No, but
Holy.
fascination, it's cool because it's like, look, we're all humans, right?
Right.
We all have skin, fingers, toes. Well, unless you go for the 2 million, you're
Yeah,
going to
they
be
do
missing
a
something.
prosthetic one, right?
Exactly. But at some point, we're all, minus some height or weight or whatever, we're all the same.
Right.
And what differentiates us, one of the things, I suppose, are tattoos. And
Sure.
it kind of tells a story.
Right.
And when people see me, like the one they notice, because I've only got 3, but once again, I'm thinking about a couple of more. But currently I have 3, and one is this very cool skull and a heart, and one is this, you and I got this.
True.
Matching shamrock with this knotwork M in there for our last name. But the people always comment on the one I have in my left hand, which is this curly Q. It's almost like hypnosis.
Yeah.
This little curly Q thing on my left hand, which is pagan for rebirth, which I'm like, okay, that checks out. That's kind of...
Right.
It's my mindset. That's kind of where I'm at in my life anyway. But then he added this little, like a Tim Burton curly Q or swoopy thing in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome. And people see it and they're like, oh my God. And every time, like some young dude will be like, oh, yeah, well, did you know there's this anime and it's like those things are like, and he was like telling me this whole story. And I'm like, well, now I'm going to have to check
Right,
this shit out.
right.
That sounds pretty amazing.
That's very true.
Yeah, so his name's Michael. He's a B-dubs here in Valpo. He's a super cool guy. And so next time I see him, I'm going to be like, hey, tell me more about this
Right,
anime. I'm
right.
totally going to check it out. But
Yeah.
they tell a story.
That's
You
true.
know, people see them, they're like, oh, what is that? Or, whatever, and
Yeah.
it's great. And
It's body art. It's the
It's
same,
body art.
It's the same thing with piercings or makeup or
Yeah.
even like henna tattoos that are more temporary. It's just like something you want to see on yourself,
absolutely.
or what you see of yourself.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. So
We advocate for tattoos here.
we definitely advocate their Mr. Creepy Company. And
This is a creepy bro.
creepy bro, go out and get one.
Go ahead.
Go with your woman who's got. Tell her to what she got 12. Is that what you said? She's got a dozen tattoos.
Yeah.
Tell her to get 13.
Baker's dozen.
Go out and get a tattoo with her. Although. Several months later, she may get angry at you and never speak to you again. But that's just from experience. So you may want to be careful of that. So tread carefully.
Yes.
On that. But go and get one together. It's a lot of fun.
Very true.
Yeah. All right. The next one is from @theviper23245.
Oh, wow.
Why do you think Batman has a no-kill rule when not killing his enemies creates endless problems for him?
Oh. Well, is that a Batman problem, or is that a display of the injustice system of, Gotham City?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Arkham Asylum is clearly not doing their job.
Yeah. It is not high enough security there.
So Batman could be like, look, I keep throwing these guys in there. If they can't keep them in,
Right.
that's kind of a them problem.
Bro, I'm vigilante out here. I'm not even on your payroll, and you guys
Exactly.
can't keep these in. Like,
Well, yeah, because technically that's what he is, right? He's
Right.
a vigilante. And if he kills someone, well, you just murdered
then
someone.
that's just murder, right?
This is murder.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, now I'm no better or worse
That's
than
true.
they are.
That's true.
So it might just be moral code.
Sure. Yeah, plausible deniability.
I mean, it's not like cops go out.
Well, yeah, I guess they kind of do that, though.
Sometimes. Sometimes.
Interesting.
That probably wasn't the best comparison. Now that I think about it. Quite indeed.
Indubitably.
Maybe the cops are doing their job and Batman's not. I don't know.
Pop, 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 pop.
Pop, pop. So, yeah, I don't... That's a tough one.
Yeah,
That's a tough one. I have a hard time going against his moral code.
right.
But it does seem to me, being the Dark Knight and the fact, like, people blink their eyes and he's there and then he's gone, could probably get away with it.
That's true. That's true. But is he the judge, jury, and executioner? Or is he just a billionaire in a bat outfit?
Right.
You know?
Saying, here, I caught the bad guy.
Right.
Take him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Then he spills blood. What does that make him? That makes him a murderous billionaire in a bad outfit.
Right. That makes him a murderous billionaire. Bad billionaire. Got a lot of those.
Aren't they all? Yeah.
They got a lot of those.
Too many.
The last one I have here is from @Barfly Betty Beers.
Oh.
What is the appropriate way to tip at a bar when paying cash? Should I just leave them an extra $1 each time I grab a drink, or should I just give them 10, 15, or 20 bucks at the end of the night?
Depends if you have a tab open. If you have a tab open, tip them at the end of the night.
Right.
If you're paying per beer, tip per beer.
Tip per beer.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've often wondered that myself, because it's like, you know, if you're on a budget and you're like, I'm going to go in there 20 bucks, you know, and then you're like, that gets me 4 beers.
Right.
So you go and you get 4 beers, and then you just assume, I'll just tip with the rest. But then it's like, you do a beer here, and it's $1. It's a couple bucks. Oh my gosh, I'm out of money. And it's like, I did not tip properly. So a lot of times it's kind of like, if you have that, then it's like, here's $5. That's my tip at the end of the night, and here I'll be able to get 3 or 4 beers with that.
Sure.
I suppose. I don't know. I'm sure just tipping per beer is probably the best way to do it if you're cash.
True. Or if you're loaded, you can just walk in and, you know, hand the bartender a couple Benjis and be like, here is the tip for the night. Just, you know, make sure I'm treated well.
Right.
But that's only if you're loaded.
That's if you're loaded.
The rest of us poor people is tip per beer.
That's tip per beer.
Yeah.
$1 or $2. That's all we got. That's what we got. But that's the end of Carpe Diem. And please send us your DMs. The Mark Mo Show podcast has a Facebook page, AK219. They've got one as well. You can reach out to us on the socials. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Threads. Although, who does Threads? I'm on it. I post to it, but
Threads died once Blue Sky was invented.
Yeah, I feel like Threads could have replaced TikTok. Like if Meta was smart, they would have been like, okay, we're going to wait till this dies. And once TikTok is dead here, we're going to turn Threads into what that was. I mean, why not? Yeah. It's kind of almost like it, and I think it'd be an easy transition. They should have.
I think Meta is always a couple years too late to every trend.
Right. They show up late to the party.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah. Except for VR, and then they'll put $20 billion into a dumb fucking metaverse that no one cares about.
That no one cares. Right. Exactly.
Think of the metaverse. God. It's like you can buy an NFT house and see it in VR. It's like, well, I'd rather just be able to afford a real one.
Just
Thanks.
afford a home.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you. I appreciate that. I just want to look at some nice houses. I'll just go to Zillow.
Right.
Problem solved.
Exactly.
Anyway, so send us your DMs if you'd like to. We'll definitely read them on the podcast here. We have something before our next break. It is the other foods. So we are definitely foodies, and I write articles about restaurants and bars and talk about their food. And so it's something we love to talk about here on the Mark Mo Show. And one segment that people always tend to love is the other foods. So Aiden goes down the rabbit hole, way down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, too far sometimes.
Too far. Sometimes we gotta hire spelunkers and pull them out.
Usually that's just for Kev.
And that's usually just for Kev, for sure. But at any rate, he finds these often ridiculous and repulsive foods from around the world, and I'm very interested to see what you got for us this week.
Yeah, I found this one interesting because it seems like it's got quite the cultural background as a Christmas dish of this certain Midwestern state of the U.S. And at first I thought it was a joke. I'm like, haha, funny, that's a hilarious prank, guys. You got us this time. Nope, it's real. I'm just going to read to you its origins, and then I'll tell you what's going on.
Okay.
This is a sandwich that originated in the 1800s when German immigrants brought the idea of a similar sandwich called Met to Wisconsin.
How's that spelled?
M-E-T-T.
M-E-T-T.
Met.
Okay.
The German sandwich in question.
For a minute, I was like, Met. That's like a bad baseball player.
Well, yeah.
Hey-o!
Capital M.
I love you, New York.
Yeah.
Please keep listening.
The German sandwich, Met, in question, is a raw pork sandwich. Now, if you know anything about raw pork, that's not something you should consume.
Bad idea.
So Wisconsiners, Wisconsinites, Wisconsin morons took this idea
Yep.
of German background and switched it up a little bit and made it the Cannibal Sandwich. That's its title. The Cannibal Sandwich.
The cannibal sandwich.
A Wisconsin tradition, usually around Christmas time, but hey, it's Wisconsin, who cares?
Right.
Of raw ground beef on bread with onions, salt, and pepper. Often served at holidays and gatherings.
Damn.
The sandwich itself is made with raw ground beef, sliced raw onions, salt, pepper, served on rye bread. Some versions, if you're getting fancy, include pepper jack cheese, for some flavor, of course. The preparation, sometimes they use ground up steak, to slightly reduce the risk of E. coli.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah, a little E. coli for the holidays. It's apparently a sandwich popular in Milwaukee, which I fucking can't wait to avoid that forever, where delis and butcher shops sell large amounts of raw beef around the holidays. Of course, the Wisconsin Department of Health Services has warned against eating cannibal sandwiches due to raw meat being a health risk, which of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah.
But yeah, just good old Milwaukee Wisconsiners are like, nah, can't take this away from me. This is America. I'm gonna eat my cannibal sandwich.
Oh God. Ugh. Ugh.
So yeah, you can look up images of that, lovely listener.
The cannibal sandwich.
The cannibal sandwich, if you so choose.
That's so disgusting.
Just raw beef, raw onions, salt and pepper.
Now I know the raw beef you can, unless it's like mad cow disease, which you'll die, and that's fine.
Right.
If you want to take that risk, but I know raw beef people can eat because there's like steak tartare and I don't know who does that, but it's there.
Crazy people.
It's there. I don't think I would do that. I really don't.
No. Like I have enough issues with my stomach as is.
Yeah.
Just because I have stomach issues. And I don't think I would want to push my luck with eating raw meat, But then again, I say things like that, but I'll also eat sushi. So maybe I am a hypocrite of sorts.
But see, that's the thing. See, I don't like sushi. I've tried sushi. I want to vom. And I'm sure it's mostly a consistency thing for me because I'm very much a consistency guy. Like, for example, I love cherry flavoring, like a cherry soda or cherry flavored stuff. Right. I really like it. Actual cherries, I will projectile. Like, it is just... I like it's just they blow up in your... Oh, God, no. It's not good. It's just there's just certain things... If I like the flavor, that's fine. But it's just like bananas. Oh my God, who does that? Who does that? Why? There's a reason they're 25 feet up in a tree. Hey, humans can't reach that. Yes, right, exactly. They're not meant for us. Why did we do that?
It's the closest we can get to eating kinetic sand.
Oh.
Those little kinetic sand toys?
Yeah. It's just like, it's like those kids that ate paste in grade school is the same kind of, oh God, they can't do it. Like, and here's the crazy thing, banana nut loaf or what, I love that stuff. Yeah. I like a banana cake, I will eat the hell out of it. You put a banana in front of me, I'm going to jab it right in your left eye. I'll get this thing out of here.
You take this potassium back.
Oh, and green beans. Like, here's the thing. I'm on right. This happens from time to time, people, but I promise you it's always good. Anyway, so your mother once told me, no. If you just eat a fresh green bean out of the garden, it's completely different than what you will get out of like a can or frozen or whatever, because I was scarred for life. So I'm a kid and we're eating, and my parents didn't make green beans often because I'm like, I don't like green beans. So, we kept it to corn, we kept it to broccoli, we kept it to the things I like.
Right.
Mostly. Every once in a blue moon, green beans. I'm like, why are you doing this? They smelled, they were slimy, and I think it was like pot roast and green beans and mashed potatoes. 2 out of 3, I will totally F with, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm eating, He's, oh, you better make sure you eat your green beans. I'll make sure you eat them tomorrow. Rah, rah. And I shouldn't be doing. I love my parents. They're no longer living, but whatever. I can tell a story. So I ate your green beans. I'm like, okay, fuck, fine, I will. So it's just like I started eating the green beans, and literally the second spoonful I put in my mouth, I literally like, and it just shot across the table. What are you doing? I'm like, oh my God, I almost threw up. I'm like, I can't. And until your mother had me try a fresh green bean out of the garden, that was 25 years.
Right. 25 years of that being...
Of me not touching a frickin' green bean. I can't do it. Oh, look at this green bean casserole. That's great for you.
You keep that up.
You keep that... Well, yeah, there's crunchy French onions on the top. Super great. Give me the can of that.
Right.
I'll munch on that. You keep... No, don't put it at my end of the table. We are going to...
Yeah.
We'll go to war. Yeah. So, shit, how do we get on that?
Green beans.
The other foods.
Came from
Consistency.
sushi. Came from raw meat.
See, we do this. We get off the highway, but most of the time...
You retrace your steps.
Retrace your steps, leave the breadcrumbs.
Right. Sometimes you end up in the Badlands and you just have to end...
stop.
End the segment on a tangent.
Right, exactly. Yeah. We were going to the beach in Southwest Florida. How the hell did we end up in Mobile, Alabama? I mean, sometimes it happens. But not in Mobile, I love you too.
You can do that.
I love you too. But at any rate, so that is another food that I will never try.
You and me both.
I will never try. But once again, thank you for
sharing
that disgusting sandwich. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, our signature bit, You Just Made the List, here on The Mark Moe Show. All right, we are back, everybody, and it is time for the signature segment, You Just Made the List. That is a top 10 list. It could be, well, hell, virtually anything. We make a top 10 list, we go 10 to 2, and then, of course, we finish it all off with the big number one reveal. Each week will be something different. This week, I got a little creative, and I thought this might be fun. And originally, I thought, hey, if you had like a final meal, kind of like a death row final meal, what would be on it? And then it sunk in like, well, hell, this is a top 10 list. That's
a lot of meal.
It's a lot of freaking food. It's just like you're going to the ward and be like, okay, you got a pen and paper. It's going to take you some time.
Right. Actually, just open up a PDF.
Right, exactly. But here's what I'm thinking. I was like, you know what? Let's make it like you got a week to live. 10 things you are definitely consuming with 1 week left on this planet. So, if you don't mind,
yes,
I will venture out here
into your final week,
into my foodisphere.
Exactly.
Ooh,
foodisphere.
Ooh, I like that. Did I just invent that?
Foodisphere.
All words are invented.
Shit, isn't that the truth?
Yeah. All right. The foodisphere.
Yeah, I like that.
All right,
we're gonna trademark that before Food Network gets their grubby paws on it.
Yeah. Or Roku.
Fucking Roku.
Ah, bastards. Anyway, you just made the list. Here we go. 10 to 2. And, by the way, let's see these list of rules. Oh, there aren't any. I guess that's the only rule.
You just made the list, and the list of rules is 0.
It's 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only rule, there are no rules.
Paradoxical, doesn't matter.
Does not matter. So here we go. Number 10. Lots and lots of pasta from Maggiano's.
Ooh. The Italian.
So, hey, how you doing? Yeah, pasta fazool. Get the ziti. Who bring the fucking ziti? Oh, hey. I want all the pasta you have. Not some, all. It's so good. Like I think it's called Mom's Lasagna. It's massive. It's so good. They do a ziti. They do a chicken parm that'll blow parts off. and then you can collect your 2 million.
Exactly. You're welcome.
You're welcome for that. Maggiano's so good. Number 9, the double quarter pounder and large fry from McDonald's.
Ooh.
I don't get it.
Classic meal.
I don't get it often because it is a lot of meat cooked. You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's a lot of meat, but like if I'm hungry, like if I skip breakfast or something, it's noon and my stomach's like, what are you doing to me? And it'll be like, okay, I know what you need. And by the way, you're welcome.
Right.
That double QP, baby, that hits every time. Number 8,
the double royale.
The double royale with cheese. Indeed, they do. Number 8, fried chicken from Popeyes.
Classic right
absolutely
there.
the best.
Oh.
Give me some breastises with some of those. Was it rice and beans and the biscuit?
The biscuits are for real.
Yeah.
The Cajun fries, man.
Yes, all of
Popeyes
that.
sponsor us.
Yeah.
Please.
Popeyes F's hard, man.
I still remember the good old days of the chicken sandwich wars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, and here's the thing: there aren't many I dislike.
That's true. Most people do a great chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
think-
fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, Burger King always. Sorry.
Man, fuck Burger King.
I know,
hate
I
Burger
know,
King.
I know that's a thing
That's
for you.
dog slop.
I know, but their old school chicken sandwich on that long sub roll,
The original.
that
Yeah.
might be one of the only good things there. But
I can fuck with that. Except the one time I got that chicken sandwich. I had to have been like 17. I was hanging out with an old friend. Go through the drive-thru of the Burger King closest to my the AK-219 studio. And I get the original chicken sandwich, add cheese, because you got to. And there was a clump of hair
oh no,
on my sandwich. I'm not talking a hair. I'm not talking a couple of... I'm a clump of hair.
that's gross. That's gross.
That was one of many final straws I've had with Burger King.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's not good. We're going to move on from them. They weren't even on the list anyway.
Yeah, thank God.
Number 7, a gyro from Jetonia Greek Grill.
True. So true.
Love their food.
That tzatziki sauce is
Michael,
nuts,
you're the
dude.
man, by the way. Oh, it's so good. It's so flipping good.
Just let me purchase like a gallon of it.
Yes.
I'll drink it.
Yes, and number 6, breakfast from Susie's Cafe in Valparaiso,
Beautiful,
Indiana.
beautiful. Not
because
sponsored.
That is not sponsored, maybe soon to be sponsored. I would literally go there and say, Susie, give me all the bacon and
Yep.
eggs that you have.
They have a cinnamon roll at Susie's Cafe that is the size
Of the plate.
of like Shaquille O'Neal's 2 fists balled up.
Yes,
If you can picture that, that's how large that cinnamon roll is.
it's so good.
It's enormous. I got one for myself one time, many, many years ago, and I finished it, and that was a horrible, horrible mistake.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause
I
number
should've
1 is going to
just-
sit like a rock.
I should have just taken half of it home.
Yeah, you're going to go into a diabetic coma.
Yeah.
It's just it's not good, but it's delicious.
It is fantastic.
If you go there with like say 2 to 4 people, get the big one. It's like a shareable thing.
True. Very
Definitely
true.
a shareable thing. Number 5, a corned beef sandwich from Manny's in Chicago.
Manny's.
I love me some corned beef sandwich.
Fantastic
It's
Manny's.
so big. It's such a big sandwich, but that corned beef so flippin' tender. Okay, man, my stomach is going nuts right now. Number 4, a strip or ribeye from Pettorino's or Jack Stack Fiorella's. Either one. Pettorino's is in Chicago. Jack Stack Fiorella's is in Kansas City. What's up, Kansas City? Fantastic. Great food. Oh, and God, I can't believe that's... There's no rules. I can add
True.
it. Burnt ends, man.
Oh, burnt ends. How about that?
Oh man, I will. Yeah. Oh God, I'm having a moment. I need a cigarette. Burnt ends, so good. Number 3, Rico Bene's breaded
Oh, there you go.
steak sandwich.
Except for that one time, but we can forget
Except for that one time. Yeah, right. And then they're like, well, food poisoning takes so long. I'm like, yeah, I used to be food safe certified,
Right.
ass. I
I
know
know
how
this.
long it takes. What I'm telling you is your sandwich made me sick.
Right.
Whether it was the...
Who else's marinara did I vom?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, well, I'm like, no, there were 3 of us. 2 of us got sick. We were the ones that had the damn sandwich.
Yeah.
And that was all I threw up was that
Right,
sandwich.
right.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
God.
not to slander Rico
And not
Benes.
to slander, because I love their food.
Right.
But
This was just a one-off bad experience. That happens. Every other experience has been great.
I'm just more mad like their people just weren't nicer about it. Like,
Right.
oh, my God, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah. Like, oh, we'll look into it.
Yep.
At least that's better than, It's like, no, I do know.
I do know. I do know.
Fucking clown.
Anyway, number 2, Italian beef sandwich from Al's Beef.
Good. That's good.
So good. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I could have picked Italian sandwiches from a lot of places.
I like that Buona sometimes too.
Buona's good.
Yeah.
Buona's really good sandwich. Right here in Valpo, there's a place called King's.
Oh yeah.
They
Locally owned,
and it's not that their beef is necessarily tastier than Buona's, but they put a ton on there.
yes.
And if you add,
they are not hasty with the application of
they
beef
are
on
not.
your bread.
They give it to you, man, and they'll throw that giardiniera in there, or they'll throw the cheese.
Yep.
So good. But yeah, that's my number 2. So I gotta
That's
wait for my number 1.
fantastic.
Yep,
Okay.
gotta wait.
I did not name places specifically.
That's okay.
I went with the vibe. I just felt it out, and I was like, okay, here's what I'm feeling.
Yep.
I'll apply locations when applicable. So, number 10 on my list, cheese curds.
Oh, that's good.
I like cheese curds. You can go Culver's. B-Dubs has great cheese
They do.
curds.
You know, Franklin House, which is a bar/restaurant in Valparaiso, Indiana, excellent cheese
Ooh.
curds. Excellent.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, cheese curds number 10 for sure. Number 9, I was thinking snacks, you can tell. Number 9, chips and dips.
Yep.
Chips and dips. Give me some tortilla chips. Give me the queso blanco. Give me some guacamole.
Yes.
Give me some salsa verde. Give me all of the dips
Oh, yeah.
and all of the chips. Number 8, Chinese food. I love Chinese food.
I do too.
Yeah.
That was missing from my list. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
I love Chinese food. I just want... I was thinking, too, I'm like, it doesn't matter where it's from either. And we've got this place called Beijing in Portage, Indiana.
Yes,
They're
yeah.
fantastic. And that's like...
There's a New Dragon, I believe, in
the
Valpo
New
that's
Dragon's
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like the upper echelon
I
of
think so.
Chinese food.
Yep.
But you can even go down the list to like Panda Express, right?
Yeah, and get that
Even
orange
that's
chicken.
good, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so good.
You can't go wrong. So definitely on that list.
Yep.
Number 7, this needed a spot on its own, Cheez-Its. Not sponsored, but
They should. How are they? For the one reason that PBR should spit, like literally, they should give me a part of their company by now.
Right, yeah.
Cheez-Its, like your house should look like a box of Cheez-Its.
That's
by
so
now.
true. Yeah, I could polish off a family-sized box and be like, damn, I should have got more Cheez-Its.
I should have got more Cheez-Its. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Number 6
6.
on my list, Lou Malnati's Pizza. Lou Malnati's Pizza, gotta be on there.
It's got to be.
It is fantastic pizza.
Yep.
Number 5, sushi. I know you don't agree with that, but I fucks with some sushi.
Yeah, I'll let you.
That's
I'll
true.
let you.
You know, all more for me, right?
That's right.
Number 4, a Taco Bell feast.
Oh yeah.
And I know it's kind of
Yeah.
strange to go from Blue Malnati's to Taco Bell, but
But I get it.
I mean, a quesadilla, a quesarito, the beefy 5-layer, the crunch wrap. Jesus.
I've got something for you. You may not know this is new, and I discovered it because I close bars. That's what I do. So when I do that, sometimes I'm like, huh. So I've just consumed some alcohol. Little snack might be nice.
For sure.
So I go to Taco Bell, and like literally, I can get a couple of cheese roll-ups and like a beefy thing and like less than $5, and you're
Yeah,
out the door, and you
easily.
have your snack before you go to sleep. So I go in there. They have these nacho fries, right?
The nacho fries are great.
The nacho fries are great. Here's what they had. Garlic steak nacho fries.
What the
They had this
What?
garlic steak with the cheese and the fries and the whole thing. I said, what's that? And so they're like, oh, this is new. I said, well, we are ordering that immediately. And I took that home. I was like, this might be the best thing ever.
That sounds magical.
It was magical. I was
Wow.
transported to a different universe somewhere, Earth 537.
Right. Yeah.
9 or 12.
The stratosphere is completely comprised of garlic steak nacho fries.
It was. I felt like I became Taco Cat, and I was just kind
Yeah.
of a little rainbow,
little neon cat.
Yes,
kinda.
I was so happy. I was so happy in that moment.
That's wonderful. Number 3 on my list, country fried steak.
Oh, that's
country
good.
fried-
Bob
I'm thinking
frickin' Evans,
Bob
baby.
Evans for sure.
Oh my god.
Not sponsored, but God, I wish I was.
Yeah, that's good.
And the white pepper gravy on top.
Excellent.
Holy.
Excellent.
Fantastic steak. Number 2, I grouped these together. And it's not a food, but it does count. Number 2, drinks.
Drinks.
I included booze, water, and caffeine all on the same list.
Yep. I'll even pour one out for the homies.
Sure, yeah.
Why not?
Who's going to stop me?
Yeah. Not me. I won't.
That's my number 2.
I love that. Yeah, PBR's not on my list. I think I just I lost them.
It's implied.
I think it's implied that I'm having that with all of these meals. My number 1 is pizza. Now, not any pizza. It is pizza from the south side of Chicago.
There you go.
It's called Fox's Pizza.
Ooh, Beverly.
In Beverly, southwest side. By the way, Beverly, I'll be seeing you in about 50 days-ish or so. So amazing.
Phenomenal. The tavern style.
The tavern style pizza, sausage, awesome. They do it fresh. They make their own. So good. It's so flippin' good. And literally, Aiden and I can get a family size and kill that thing.
Polish.
We will kill that thing.
Polish it.
Yep.
Then the one time we went there with Kev and his bitch ass got the baked beans.
You
got the baked beans, and I'm like, dude, we have to drive back with you in the car. Why are you getting baked beans?
We'll never let him do that again.
Hell no.
We'll never let him do that again. It was kind of like, look, this is a pilgrimage. We come here and consume the pizza. Oh, I'll have beans and a sandwich.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What are you doing that? Like, every once in a blue moon, like when your mother and I would go out, which was rare, but whenever we go out, we go to a restaurant. Say it's a chicken place. And your mother would be like, oh, I'll have the filet of sole. And I'll be like, all right, we're going to leave. And you're going to be like, oh, it was just okay. And I'm going to be like, well, you just ordered filet of sole at a chicken restaurant. And she did that a lot. And it's pretty comical now. It's comical then. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, look, if you're going to the House of Hamburgers and you got yourself a Cobb salad, you get what you deserve.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's fair.
All right, you're number 1.
Number 1. Underrated.
Yeah.
Underappreciated. A simple breakfast burrito. A simple breakfast burrito. Those oversized flour tortillas. You throw a bunch of eggs, sausage, bacon, cheese, peppers, roll it up, grill it a little bit more. Oh, dude.
That sounds amazing.
A lovingly made, homemade breakfast burrito.
That's beautiful.
You can get them from establishments, but you make it at home, it tastes all the more better.
It does. Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's excellent. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for that, Aiden. I would definitely mess with some of that for sure. We're now into review preview, and that's very simple. It's an article that I write, review movie, preview movie, coming up. And we talked a little bit about this one last week, so I don't have to spend a ton of time on it. But I usually rate these as well. So I gave this movie The Last Showgirl. I gave it 6.9.
Nice.
I know. 6.9 stars. And it's pretty good. So it's Pamela Anderson, which you'd be like, why do you go to Pamela? Like, this was a huge role for her. Like, I don't know if this is going to be a huge turn where, like, this is going to be a big acting thing for her. But in the role, how it was set up, like, I'm not sure too many other actresses could have pulled it off the way she did, based on probably all the crap she had to deal with growing up in that era, doing the things that she did. So I think she was almost kind of perfect for it. And then Jamie Lee Curtis was in it, and she's, of course...
She's a G.
She's great at everything. But directed by Gia Coppola, and she's the granddaughter of the legendary director Francis Ford Coppola. And it's a super emotional movie called Last Showgirl. Very indie. It has like a very indie feel to it. It takes place in Vegas, about nightlife. So Pamela Anderson, she's this showgirl for this show called Razzle Dazzle, right? And it's like over the past 30 years. Well, she's older and the others are older, and it's just this, like, if you go to Vegas and you see the girls out on the strip and they got the big feather things on their head and like all the glitz and glam and the whole thing. Well, like those types of shows are kind of going the way of the dodo bird.
Sure.
And so this was kind of like that type of movie. And so it's basically like the end of their run, and really that's all she's done. And she's lost. She doesn't know what to do with her life. She has an estranged daughter. Jamie Lee Curtis is kind of an older showgirl who has become like a cocktail waitress. And of course, she's just surly. She's just surly and over everybody and everything. Brenda Song's in it. Kiernan Shipka's in it. Dave Bautista's in it. He's really good. He kind of ran the show. And he was really good. Like, it's amazing, like, these wrestlers, and they transition into acting, and it's like, wow, this dude can, he can act.
He can kill it, yeah.
He can really do it. But it's kind of sad and kind of depressing in some ways, but I found it, like, real.
Yeah.
Just, like, real. And, like, you feel her pain and, like, what she's dealing with, and how some of these young girls, and they're just struggling to make it, and they're, you know, one's trying to do it the right way, and the other one's like, oh, so you got to do these sleazy house shows, you know, and so she, like, goes her way, and it's very interesting how they all kind of come together by the end of it, and it's good. Is it the greatest movie ever? No, but it's like, if you go and watch it, you'll enjoy it. Like I said, it really has that indie feel to it,
right?
And it is kind of sad and depressing, but overall, just like, it's real, you know, and that's probably the best thing I could say about it.
Very true.
Yeah, you come out of it and you got the feels, man. You're just like, man, that's something. My preview is a movie that's out now. It's called Flight Risk, and it's directed by Mel Gibson, and it has Mark Wahlberg in it. And so it's basically kind of like this guy has a pilot for this guy that's going into witness protection with an FBI agent, but as it turns out, the pilot is a plant, and he's a bad dude, and it's played by Wahlberg. So Wahlberg's a bad guy in this one. He rarely plays like a bad guy. And Mel Gibson, and I know people, you know, kind of have a love-hate relationship with this guy, because it's like, who doesn't love Lethal Weapon? But in the same sense, as a human, he might be kind of a D-bag.
It's one of those things like, can you remove the artist from the art?
Right.
You know.
Exactly. Still be able to appreciate, like, what they did.
Sure.
So you think about, like, some of his track records of historical dramas, like Braveheart, Hacksaw Ridge, Passion of the Christ. I mean, that's all like home run, you know? So with Flight Risk, we'll kind of see how that goes, and if it's able to be a box office hit. Kind of a con to it is that Wahlberg's last few movies, they haven't hit.
That's true.
They haven't hit, so that could be like, right here, it's like, let's see, Joe Bell made $1.4 million. Father Stu made 21. Arthur the King made 25. So they just didn't hit.
Yeah.
They just didn't hit. So we'll see. You know, and originally it was planned for October 2024, and they bumped it to January 2025, which often isn't the best sign.
Right.
You know, it isn't the best sign. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that looks. It looks interesting. You know, does the plane crash? You know, is it man hunts man, and then this female FBI officer, and it just could be a lot of interesting dynamics.
Very true.
Could be a lot of interesting dynamics. And once again, Mel Gibson's directing, so I think it could be okay.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You'll have to suss it out.
I'm on the fence. I'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
I see it. But that's review preview for this week, and we'll have a couple of different films for you next week. But before we go to break, it's time for While You Are Sleeping, because we all sleep.
True. Yeah.
Some of us a lot less than others, but we all sleep.
Unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. So we all sleep, but while we're sleeping, we miss things.
Very true.
Whether it's a TV show, whether it's gaming, maybe another influencer, maybe on YouTube. But if we miss it, our guy here, Aiden Maloney of AK219, he's sussed it out, he's done the research, and he's here to save us.
Very true. And you're welcome in advance. I have another indie game for you, because I've been on something of an indie game binge myself recently.
Okay.
I've been playing a lot of them, and this, in as far as Gen Z goes and some younger millennials go, of course you know this game. But I don't think it's just for Gen Z and younger millennials. I think the game could be for anyone. It's super fun. It's called I'm on Observation Duty. It is...
And I've seen that on AK219, so check it out.
Very true. Very true. It is so fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to play. It is a horror game of sorts. It's suspenseful. Less so jump scares, although they do happen. But it is more of a suspense horror game. And the premise is you are an employee of a mysterious organization. Your job is to monitor live surveillance footage and spot anomalies just using your intuition, your eyes, your memory, and surviving the entire shift without succumbing to paranoia and death.
Oof.
So it's made by a developer called Natovia, and they started coming out in 2018.
Okay.
And so far there's 6 games. So it's essentially 1 releases every year. And each of them have more maps than the previous one, different types of anomalies, different crazy intruders that try and kill you from the other side of a screen. It's nuts. And the first one that came out in 2018 got a 96%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Heavily liked, but not a lot of reviews. Like, it hit YouTube, and people loved it, but it's... The reason I'm bringing it up is in this While You Were Sleeping segment is because YouTube, while it may be the majority of the content I consume, is not for everyone. So, that's why I feel like it's important to bring up these little indie games here. Observation Duty, short horror game where your job is, of course, to monitor everything. Anomalies range from furniture moving around, like poltergeist type shit, to otherworldly intruders. Of course, you spot them, you call them out, and of course, there are secrets and lore you have to find along the way. So, of course, with any type of game, you have to pay for it. I don't think it's a lot. I think the bundle, like if you purchase all 6 games at once, I think it's like 22 bones. So you're getting, 6 to 12 hours of entertainment, if not more, for $20. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
And you're supporting a small indie dev, so that's pretty cool. But it is really fun. I mean, it's difficult solo. Some of the maps are quite difficult solo, but it's one of those games where you can play it with a bunch of people, right? Because you just need one person manning the station, but everyone can call out the anomalies, Yeah. It is very fun. Highly recommended.
All I know from consuming your show, AK219, from consuming all of the shows that you do, and that you do this often, that there are horrific things that pop up.
Very true.
Out of nowhere. And
Yes.
I'm not going to say there's a gigantic naked baby that pops up.
That was disturbing.
Right. And sometimes you get a head that pops up out of a toilet, and sometimes there's creepy dudes that it really is, it's a surprise.
It's frightening, yeah.
Because you're sitting there, and I do love the fact, like, you're sitting there and you go to the different cameras and you pop into the living room, and they have like 6 bottles on a table, and you got a bottle cap on the floor, and you got this and you got that, and it's like, oh my God, I got to try to remember all this. And like, you're so busy looking at all of these minute details that all of a sudden it's like, boom, oh my God. And it's just like, it totally surprises you.
Yeah, there's an alien with an arm coming out of his crotch. It's like, what the fuck?
Right, and you literally have like 5 seconds to neutralize that thing, or you're done.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it is good.
It's fantastic.
Really good. Well, thank you for sharing that. You should all check out Observation Duty. It's pretty great. And where can they find it, I guess?
You can... where I get it is you can just buy it on the Steam store. Like I said, I think each game is only $5, but if you get the bundle, it's like 20 some odd. But you can always just find it on YouTube. You can check out AK219. Kevin and I play it there. Check it out on my channel, Aiden, spelled the right way. I play it there as well. But it's just a great time.
That's
awesome.
A bit
of a spook fest. A little spooky.
Spook fest.
Yeah.
I'm always up for a spook fest. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to finish up with an old segment from the old radio show. I think you guys are going to like it. We'll be right back. All right, we're back, everybody, and we're on to our final segment for this edition of the Mark Mo Show. And this is something called the World world of weird news.
Let's go. It's back, baby.
It is back. And like I said, we're going to swap. We've got a lot of segments that we've had over the years. We're going to swap some in and out and keep things fresh and fun each and every week.
Should call us the Febreze Brothers.
Right.
Fresh start.
It's a fresh start. Fresh start.
It's the last one.
Last one, Alan. No doubt. So,
Shut up, Alan.
Shut up, Alan. By the way, my friend Jess and her boyfriend Cody, they love all the same movies that we love.
That's
and
great.
They started quoting the other guys.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh my God, one of my people. This is amazing.
You dare cite the dark magic to me, witch? I was there when it was written.
Exactly. Oh my God, it was so great. But let's get to this final segment. This is the world of weird news. We find weird news stories from all over the world, and sometimes Florida Man will provide enough entertainment for us. Usually we can just look at news from the state of Florida and get most of our content. But I don't know. Tell us a little bit about yours.
Considering it is such a unique state, I, of course, have one from there. This comes from the publication Newsweek. Florida man arrested for attacking daughter with pizza after she didn't want to eat with him.
Oh no, how awful.
This is a story from 2021. A Florida man has been arrested for allegedly attacking his daughter with pizza after she said she just wanted to be alone for the day. On the afternoon of Sunday, May 23rd of 2021, it always happens on the Lord's Day.
It really does, doesn't it? Yep.
Tyler Warden, who's 41, visited the Vero Beach home of his 20-year-old daughter, Kristen. He brought a pizza for them to eat together, but she told him she wasn't feeling that well and asked him to leave. The daughter told police that after her father became angry and refused to leave, he allegedly argued with her in the doorway of her home. She said he began to throw slices of pizza at her, hitting her in the face with the za. The daughter began to yell at her dad, and she called 911 after he continued to refuse to leave. When the officers showed up responding to the call, he discovered the tomato sauce on her face and found pizza toppings covering the entryway of the woman's home. The police officer interviewed the woman's father, who claimed that he only threw the pizza after, quote, he thought she closed the front door already. But, of course, he didn't believe that claim because the woman's front door opened outward, meaning he would have seen the door open still.
Oh, no.
Of course, the strong odor of alcoholic beverages on the father's breath did not help his side of the story.
Nope.
He was arrested on misdemeanor charges and taken to jail.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm so glad that I mentioned Florida Man and you slid right into it.
The segue was unplanned but perfect.
It was pretty perfect. Leave it to Florida Man to attack his daughter with pizza.
Every time.
That's
not even the first Florida Man story involving pizza being thrown that I've read in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's like the second or third one.
Right. Yeah, Florida is it's ripe with all of these amazing people, I guess.
Very unique individuals.
Unique individuals that just don't do good things.
No.
And don't use their common sense, and we appreciate each and every one of them.
The comedy is remarkable, though.
It is. It really is.
It's like...
And I thank the writers for that.
Yes.
Because they'll get that news story and be like, oh, I'm writing the hell out of this one. This is awesome.
How far can we embellish this? Okay, all the way.
All right. Well, mine comes from the UK, so
Jesus.
I really hope you guys enjoy this one quite a bit.
All right.
All right, then. I'm lucky to be alive after sustaining car crash injuries tripping over my cat.
Oh, no. How the fuck did you do that?
Well, I'm about to tell you, Aiden.
Okay,
I'm so glad you asked. He suffered catastrophic injuries. This article is ripe with this. A UK man miraculously survived after sustaining a broken neck, fractured spine, smashed ribs, blood in his lungs, and other car crash evoking injuries from, wait for it, tripping over his cat.
Jesus Christ.
Quote unquote, I can't remember much, just falling fast. It was quick and it was over within seconds. Then I was at the bottom. Victim Chris Rowley, 59, told the Mirror.
Oh, wow.
The freak apocalypse meow accident reportedly occurred on the evening of October 23rd, while the Leicestershire-based professional musician was home alone with his hairless, well, there you go.
Wow.
With his hairless Egyptian Sphinx kitten, Eric Morecambe. Well, I'm not going to say guy deserved it, but Jesus, dude. Disaster struck after the wrinkly kitty, apparently feeling playful, dove out and latched onto one of the owner's legs while he was coming down the stairs. It took a bit of a chunk out of my leg, then I lost my footing, described Rowley, who reportedly tumbled down 14 steps before arriving at the bottom, where he lay unable to move when his feline put the hell in Hello Kitty.
No.
This is so good. Like, I used to be in PR, and like, if one of our people submitted a story like this, you're fired. It would just be
rehired. Awesome.
You're fired, but I appreciate the hell out of you. The massively injured man didn't realize the extent of his injuries at the time. However, paramedics later revealed that he suffered fractured skull, a broken bone in his neck, 2 fractures in the spine, 9 broken ribs, and each rib has multiple fractures, and then had a bit of blood in his lungs. He said Eric Morecambe, meanwhile, was completely unharmed.
Thank God.
The hairless cat's good. Unfortunately, Rowley's wife Jackie, a children's care worker, was working nights and was therefore unable to come to his aid.
Oh,
As a result, the Brit had to lie unattended for a whopping 14 hours in a pool of his own blood.
Holy fuck.
My phone was dead. Well, that sounds like me. My phone was dead. I couldn't get up. I physically couldn't get up, Rowley described. It's the hardest sensation. It's almost like claustrophobia. You can't get out. You can't get physically anywhere or do anything. It wasn't until the next morning that the immobile vocalist's wife arrived and discovered her husband spread-eagled at the bottom of the stairs.
Christ.
I normally get home at about 8:30 a.m., but that day I got held back and I didn't get back till about 10. And I opened the door and I heard him screaming and saw the blood.
Holy shit. That's like a horror story.
Uh-huh. Yep. He was saying, "Oh, you're home. Help, help." By this time, he dragged himself onto the landing. Jackie then dialed emergency services, who arrived within minutes. That's so sad. Whereupon she quickly left the room as she couldn't stand her partner screaming.
Jesus Christ.
We didn't know how bad his injuries were at the time. They had to really drug him up to move him.
Well, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Rowley's distraught paramour lamented. The unfortunate fellow added, "I can't explain the pain. I realized I'd cut my head as well. I didn't know how much I'd cut it until I saw all the blood. And later on, they told me about all of the other injuries. As if that wasn't agonizing enough, his oblivious pet started stamping on his chest." A move he'd reportedly been doing all night.
Holy shit.
Medics transported the injured cat owner to the trauma unit, where he remained for 2 weeks.
Wow.
He's far from out of the woods. They say it will be 6 to 12 months until I'm back on my feet. I'm on a trial now because of the seizures. I won't be great for another 12 months. I'd have thought, lamented the music man, who currently can't breathe without oxygen.
Jesus Christ.
We have to go back to the hospital next week to see if they need to put a drain in to get rid of the blood that's left over. Then it's just a matter of a long recovery. The issues have been more than just physical. Rowley reportedly has lost a lot of income on account of being unable to tour due to this condition. A friend of the family has since created a GoFundMe page to help ease Rowley and Jackie's financial strain while he recovers.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That writer.
How do you go back home and not like how do you look at the cat the same again?
Oh, the cat's gone. That cat is gone.
I mean, granted, it's a kitten. It doesn't know.
Apocalypse Meow.
Apocalypse
oh my
Meow
God.
is fucking nuts. What was the cat's name? Eric?
Yeah, the cat's... Yeah, the last name is weird. Eric is the name of the cat. Morcambe?
Morcambe.
Eric Morcambe. The cat
Wow.
has like a real name.
That's just a real people name.
Yeah. It's
Well,
it's like the cat is a human, like goes and punches the clock at the factory.
Yeah. Eric the cat clocked in and was like, well, time to recreate that scene in Batman where
Exactly.
where fucking Christian Bale beat the shit out of Heath Ledger.
Yeah. He's probably like, yeah, where's my tender victuals? You're a little bit late with that.
Yeah.
I'm Eric Morcambe. You must listen to me.
Where the fuck is my Meow Mix?
Yeah. I'm going to test out my ninja skills. Whoa! Man.
14 hours.
14 hours. On the floor,
I would've
bleeding.
I would have just stood by my laurels and passed away just on principle.
Yeah. Just like,
you know what?
you could just take me now.
I'm good. I'm good, you know?
Yep.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so there you go. World of Weird News. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know I missed it so much until just now.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
You know, when you kind of jump into Florida and the UK, you're bound to find some really
true.
Interesting stories.
UK is the Florida of Europe anyway.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
It kind of is. Indiana's kind of the Florida of the Midwest.
That is also true.
Yeah, it definitely is. We have problems here too, folks, let me tell you. But at any rate, that concludes the show for this week. I hope everybody has enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Please check out AK219 at Aiden spelled the right way. Great content there as well. YouTube, all of the podcast formats that you can find. You can find us there. And that's about it for this week. We're going to have some interviews coming up soon, so make sure you check out YouTube and the podcast with some of the interviews coming up. It's going to be good. We've got YMCA coming up, which will be really great. And you know, we've got so much other fun stuff coming up here on this show. A lot of segments that we'll repurpose, and I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are too.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening again, and we will catch you episode 3 next week.
Bye.
Later.